What's up, guys? I'll wait till some people get in here. For trucking, I tell you what, you gotta know what you want. Gotta know what you want in trucking. I ran into a lady today, and she works for Nationwide, which I work for, and she said that she was a lease owner-operator for the longest time. And she said that she would be making $3,000 a week, and after expenses, going through a lease, she would only make $500 because the lease payments were so high as an owner-operator. So she got out of after her truck was paid off, the lease was paid off, she went and bought or sold her car, got a regular vehicle, went company through Nationwide. And as a company driver through my company that I work for, that my truck is leased on for, she is bringing home, and she maybe runs three runs a week, and she probably said that she brings home about $1,000 to $1,200 a week, and she doesn't kill herself. So it's all about how you get your truck. It's about the company you work for. You have to really look into the company, because there's so many companies out there. And what I looked for was, I don't want a mega company. I didn't want some huge mega company. So I wanted something that was in between small and in between large. A guy he was a recruiter. His name is Steve Hoke, out of Omaha, Nebraska. Awesome guy. I'll have to put his number in if you guys are looking for good trucking jobs. This is what he does for a living. You don't have to pay him nothing. You don't have to pay him nothing. And you tell him what you're looking for, and he'll find it for you. That's what he does. And so I told him I want a job where I don't have to kill myself. I don't want to be out for 3, 4, 5 months at a time. I want a company that has opportunities for owner-operators down the road, keeps you running, good percentage, good pay. Now I looked at like Landstar. They give you 65%. There's a Chris Malone flatbed. You get 80%, but you have trailer rental. So it's just, you have to really look into, you see there's a lot of YouTube videos out there. A lot of YouTube videos, and people are like, oh, come work for this company, come work for my company. A lot of those companies are, they got thousands and thousands of drivers, At my company in Nationwide, I've had stuff break down. I've had maintenance problems. I call the shop, get right to the shop. They put me right in there. Within a half hour, I'm in the shop. They get it fixed for me. Done. I've probably spent since I've been an owner-operator for the last 6 months, I'd say. For about the last 6 months. As an owner-operator, I've spent maybe in maintenance, I would say probably 5 or 6 grand in maintenance issues. I would say 2,000 of it was, like, I got a deer guard for the front. I got a really good deal through my company. It was almost a brand new deer guard. So my company took care of, as soon as I had a maintenance issue, I called them, boom. They went in and they fixed it. I got a heck of a deal, and I'm on the road again. I'm not down more than 2-3 hours. At Nationwide, if I have an issue, they put me right in and I get it done. The deer guard was like, I think I paid for almost a brand new deer guard, huge too, custom. It's silver. For the deer guard with the brackets, I paid $600. $600. It was like if I had to buy that stuff new, I would literally have paid probably $1,500. So I got like a third of I paid like a third of what it would cost. And my radiator core, I had a hose blow. It was like a $100 fix. I went to a Volvo in Morton, Illinois. When they must have punctured my core because I had to pay for a whole new core. But I let it go so long because I was like, it's got to be a hose that's leaking. So I kept tightening up the hoses. And eventually a month passed. I'm like, it's got to be something else. So Nationwide looked at it. They saw that it was punctured. So I had to buy a new core. So that right there pretty much wasn't really, those two, that's 2 grand out of the 4 or 5 I've spent. So I would say I've spent, with legit maintenance issues, I've probably spent $2,500 in the last 6-7 months as an owner-operator. Pay-wise, it's good. Some weeks are slow, some weeks are hard. So, I would say if I had a full year of working as an owner-op through Nationwide, if I could do a full year, I would say I would average maybe gross, I'm on point for between 175 and 200 a year. It's just, some weeks are slow, some weeks are really hard. It's just the season, it's cold, reefer load. So does Nationwide have a 1-year requirement? You know what? With Nationwide, I tell you what, you can, we've hired guys that had local experience and drove a school bus. It's just, it depends. They give everybody a chance. They'll give everybody a chance. And all you have to do is look at that video, get the numbers off it that I posted, and talk to them. They're a very reasonable company, solid all the way around. And I looked for a long time for the perfect company, and it took me about 6 months. And it works for me. It might not work for you, but if you live in like the Cincinnati, Ohio area, Cleveland, Michigan, Indiana area, or the Omaha, Sioux City, Iowa area, even Illinois, Texas, Nationwide is awesome because those are our main, we go big back and forth, The deadheads aren't that big. They're not that big. But you got to know what you're looking for when you're looking for the right trucking job. The only flaw that I would say in Nationwide is, and it's not really a flaw, is not be able to pick your own freight. It is so appealing to me to want to pick my own freight. That's the main thing. If they come up with a way where you can pick your own freight, it would be awesome. Just thinking of, okay, this week I want to run here and stay local around my house. And then a month later, you know, I decide to, I feel like going out to California or going out to Oregon. And so you find routes going that way. That's the main reason why I became a truck driver, because of the travel, seeing new places, new spots, the freedom of the road. And as an owner out through Nationwide, that's the only thing I wish that they would come up with, is a way to pick your own freight. But as long as dispatch is keeping me running, and they do, because they know I want to run, they know I want to keep running. I don't mess around. I don't like, you know, I don't care if I have to drive at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, or, you know, drive all morning during the day. I don't care. Whenever, if there's a load that I can get, then get it for me. I'll drive wherever you want me to, you know, whatever time. And that's the difference between me and a lot of drivers. You know, there's some drivers that won't even drive at night. They won't drive at night. And you know, that, especially as an owner operator, that totally screws you out of a lot of loads. And I would say that if you're going to be a truck driver, you can't be picky on when you're driving. You know, you're a truck driver. If you can't drive at certain times of the day, you need to go get a local job. If you're going to be an OTR truck driver and have a sleeper on your truck, you have to drive whenever your load is, whatever you're scheduled it for. There's no, oh, I don't want to drive past 8 o'clock p.m. because it's dark. And no, you're an OTR truck driver. You are supposed to drive when you're dispatched. And, you know, that's just part of the job. Does it happen all the time? No, it doesn't. You know, there's sometimes that, you know, for 2 weeks straight, I just leave at 5, 6 in the morning and drive till, you know, my 11 hours, 10 hours, you know, or where I'm going. But then there's sometimes where I have to sleep all day. If you are an owner-operator, does the company pay for gas? The company pays, Nationwide pays for the reefer fuel. I pay for my fuel. I got an EFS card, and it just comes off the check. So I pay for my own fuel in the truck. It's 73% of the load plus 100% fuel surcharge. So if I run a load from Omaha, Nebraska to Cincinnati, Ohio, and it pays $2,000, or let's say $2,500, I get 73% of that $2,500, plus the fuel surcharge might be 45 cents a mile or 35 cents a mile, and I get 100% of that. So you get 73% of the haul plus 100% of the fuel surcharge. They don't even take the fuel surcharge. I would say 90% of the time, the fuel surcharge pays for more than half my fuel it took me, or at least half the fuel. So it's just you know, it's just about the company you're working for. You have to know everything about the company, everything what you want to do, because this is your livelihood. This is what is providing for your family. So I needed the perfect job. I was sick of job hopping just because, oh, this guy said this is here. You go there and then you're like, what did I get myself into? But I talked to this guy's recruiter. He's an awesome guy. He set me up with this. So I just don't want people to be, you know, get into the trucking and they're like, man, this isn't what you should enjoy trucking. Trucking is not for everybody. There's a lot of people that get into trucking. They spend the money going to school, and after their first job, after a few months, they're like, this isn't for me. It has to be something that you'll put 100% in. And if you're the type of guy that's a family guy that wants to be home, don't be an OTR truck driver. And especially don't be an owner-op, because you can't, if you're a half-ass truck driver, You cannot be an owner op. You will not make it. You will not make it. It's just a lifestyle. It's a way of a whole different lifestyle than what you're used to if you've never been in trucking. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't want anything else. I'm by myself all day unless I have the wife with me and a dog. That's it. That's the only people I have to deal with. I talk to my dispatch once or twice a week. They keep me going. I do what I want. As long as I make my deliveries and make my pickups on time, I can do whatever the heck I want. And that's what I love about trucking. Just the life. It's different than anything I've ever done. As an owner-op, you need to have your own company formed before joining a company like Western Express. I haven't heard much about Western Express, but yeah, it's true. You know, you have to. Does Nationwide hire felonies? Yeah, yep. I've had my fair share when I was younger. I got felonies, so I was a bad boy back in the day when I was 18. So you know, as long as so many years passed, you know, you just gotta, you know, if you're a felon, jump on them. You know, call them and talk to them. You know, mine are 15 years old, my felonies, but you know, that's what they're an awesome company. They look at everybody's situation and you know, they know your name. They're not, you know, yeah, they make money, but they want you to succeed. And I have not found that in a trucking company since I've been driving. I've had my CDL on and off since I was 18 years old. I'm 35 or 36, something, I can't remember. I don't even know how old I am. 35 or 36 I think I'm 35. So I've had my CDL for, you know, a while, on and off. Did a lot of construction, hauling flatbeds and heavy equipment, and I've ran tanker trucks and dry van, local. I pinpointed it down to reefer trailer because I pulled a lot of dry van, but there's money in dry van, but as an owner-op, there's a lot of money in reefer. So, you know, I just don't want you guys to just settle for anything. You know, you can't just settle for anything when it comes to finding the right trucking job, because there's a lot of trucking companies out there. I looked at some of these companies I worked for. I worked for this Williams in Michigan City, Indiana. They're like, oh yeah, you'll bring this home, you'll make this much money, cents per mile. It was like 42 or 43 cents per mile. So when I get hired, I come to find out everything was flat rated out. So they knew how many miles it was, and I'm like, bull. No, I drove from here to here and it was 900 miles and you're paying me for 700 miles? Where's the 200 miles? I want to know what route that is. Where's the extra 200 miles at 42 cents a mile? Oh, well, we don't have that. We don't pay those extra. Well, that you just told me that it was this cents per mile. Well, we had everything flat rated out. I'm like, whatever. You know, I was getting shorted probably 500 or 600 miles a week. I was getting shorted. And I even showed him, I was like, look, I took different routes. How can you short me $300-400 a week? You told me, you know, now with Nationwide as a company, all miles are paid. All miles. Your deadhead, everything. When I was company for my first 30 days at Nationwide, I set my odometer for the whole week, from my first run to my last run. I added the miles up. They were within 20 miles, 30 miles on my paycheck. It's all miles paid. A lot of companies won't do that. They'll have you deadheading all these places. They're not going to pay you for that. Nationwide pays for whatever miles you drove on your Qualcomm. That's what you're getting paid for. You know, it don't matter. And that's the other thing about Nationwide. You know, they're not going to screw you out of miles. You know, like a lot of companies will. So, and that was the other thing I looked at. I'm like, if there's a company like Nationwide that's paying all miles, even deadhead, that's a good company, you know, because they don't have to pay all them miles, but Nationwide does. So as company, you get paid all miles, and then after 90 days, they have opportunities with a lease purchase program, you know, which is all right. As an owner-op, that gets you set up, and it's no money out of your pocket. It's just after 90 days, the money down is your bonus as a company for that 90 days. That's your money down for the lease program. And most of the trucks that are leased, they're all Volvos, 780s, 730s, 15s, 16s. You know, they might even have some 14s and 13s if you don't want your payment to be so high, that are in good shape. You know, they might have 500,000 miles on them, you know. And so, you know, I just sitting here on my day off. The wife's in there getting her nails done. I'm out here waiting in the rain in Michigan. So I was just thinking, a lot of guys say, you know, are hearing this about these companies and this company and that company, and you know, I just don't want you guys going into a company that, if you've never been a truck driver and you're just getting into it, I just don't want you guys getting into a company and then you're not actually seeing the big picture. You thought you were getting into something, but the company's not good. And you know, does Nationwide? No. I don't know. I don't think so, because you need to have experience, some experience, so they don't put you through school. But I'll tell you, I'll get the information on the school I went through. It was really good. And I'll have to give them a call and see if they're still doing it. I went out of Wisconsin when I was 18, right out of high school, and got my CDL. But it was the school I went to when I was 18 was CDL, Class A, and heavy equipment certifications. So I got certifications on excavators, bulldozers, scrapers, dump trucks, backhoes, learned how to set grades, dig basements, sub-basements, drainage, set lasers, you know, run construction, contracting. And on top of that, you get your Class A CDL. Because I wanted to be a contractor. So I was in construction, running heavy equipment, had to have a CDL, moving equipment all over, and you know, that was a good school. But I don't know if they should still be open. I have to check. They're out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. There's diesel driving school. It's been a long time, so. Alright, it looks like the wives are getting her nails. She's about to pay and leave, so I will enjoy the rest of my weekend. I hope you guys enjoy yours too. Hopefully the weather's better than this. Rain. And it's 42 degrees in Michigan. So, alright guys, know your company. Investigate, know everything you want. Just don't jump into anything, because trucking is a lifestyle and it's the greatest job to me in the world. And if you guys get a job in trucking, or you have one, you have to enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, then it's not the right company. The best trucking job is one that you will enjoy for the rest of your life, because that's what trucking is. Trucking is enjoyable. It is relaxing. Yeah, you got to deal with some morons on the road. You might get a little angry, but you have to know what company fits best for you. And you have to enjoy it. If you're not enjoying the company you're working for, If you're not enjoying it, then it's the wrong company. And on that note, I'll leave you guys, but enjoy your weekend. I appreciate all of you. Probably a bad time to do this live feed, but it's all good. You guys can watch it later, so drive safe and keep on trucking.